Welcome to Money in the Air, the music podcast about neighboring rights, the royalties you earn from the public performance of your recordings and the business of music in general. Brought to you by IFR, the International Association for Artists and Rights Holders. I'm Andrew, co-founder and chief royalty officer of Royalty.
Hi, I'm Gina Deacon. I work for Absolute Rights Management and I work with record labels and artists to ensure we claim the royalty income due to them.
I'm Stacey Haber and I'm from Inside Baseball Music Publishing.
Hi, I'm Tanya Oliveira. I work for Transparent Entertainment Group. I handle registrations and repertoires for performers and rights holders around the world.
Hi, and welcome back to Money in the Air, the Neighboring Rights podcast brought to you by IFR, the International Association for Artists and Rights Holders. Please, can we talk about television today? I know that we've talked about AV in the past, but I specifically want to talk about television because I need to know which countries will pay.
Of course, it's a really valid question, and there's a lot of money there, a lot of neighboring rights money. The biggest payer is GBL for television work. On their database, you can search for recordings, and then you can also search for TV shows and series. There's a few options on the drop down, and it's a manual process just like the recordings. It takes time but worth it. So you have to do that every year because every time there's been airplay of something new that's been broadcast, you've got to go back in and reclaim. So it's a yearly thing that you keep on top of. You don't just do GVL once.
Can anyone log into GVL and claim?
In theory, yes, you just got to register. So if you are a performer and you know your stuff is performed on TV shows, especially in Germany, yeah, register. It's very simple to do. You can go to their website and, there's some forms that you fill out and email in.
Your recording has broadcast on a television show, a series, or whatever it is. Then how does that reporting get to GBL? Is it in a similar fashion? Like, is there a cue sheet that's reported from the production company to GBL, and then GBL then archives that in their database somewhere for claiming? Or how does that exactly work? Like the mechanics of it.
Yeah, you're on the right track. So I don't know the intricacies, but they do receive cue sheets and playlists from production companies in Germany. And I assume from the sister societies abroad that they have a mandate with. And then, so I'm on the GBL website right now and I've just searched The Simpsons. And then, yeah, there's like nearly 1,000 results because episode of The Simpsons are we talking? And then it tells you which ones have been broadcast, which is, from what I can see, most of them. There's a little blue symbol that looks like a radio station tower. And yeah, it's very simple to claim. But obviously, make sure you're claiming the right episode. But GBL is good because there's lots of detail attached. So you can tell which episode it is by the title or the production ID.
That's really good. Thank you very much. What other countries pay?
AIE pays, the Spanish Society. You can upload like a bulk repertoire spreadsheet. I haven't done that myself yet, but I know they accept bulk uploads for they call it AV, but that includes TV shows and films. And then Playwright in Belgium also pay for TV shows. You don't search at Playwright for TV shows. You have to manually do the claim, but it's very straightforward and their website is lovely and very user-friendly and smooth. They also accept bulk upload, so they need lots of info, like what's the production name, the episode number and title, and also, most importantly, the same for GBL, what did the performer do? Were they the main featured artist, like the named band? Were they a session musician? And also you get paid more if you were doing the opening credits or opening titles, end credits.
I mean, I would assume that there would be some type of a weighting system like they do with the PROs, if it's a main title, if it's a background vocal,
Exactly.
If there's any of these other placements within the episode.
Yeah, so I do that at Playwright. I fill in these, they call them audiovisual, like bulk repertoire spreadsheets. And yeah, it's worth it. And then Senate in the Netherlands pay, but it's library. So maybe you want to take the lead on that, Stacey, and describe the difference between library versus sync and how it's often called production music.
The easiest way to think about it, if you're not racing this world, is blanket versus individual track licensing. So a production library for AV will have writers signed up that just keep creating music after music after music. And so the AV company is like their agent for placement.
So yeah, at Senate on their website, you can do a bulk upload or manually make a claim for library TV work.
And what about PPL? Do they pay for, say, your music, your recording is on the BBC? Will that remit a neighboring rights royalty?
If a song you've performed on is broadcast on a blanketed television show, such as the BBC, and there's a few BBC channels, Yeah, there will definitely be a PPL payment because the BBC cannot broadcast a recording if it's not been registered at PPL. So that's a very strict protocol there. But they don't strictly pay for library, i.e. production music. That's a grey area still.
So the blanket license, you can only have a recording for broadcast in the UK under the blanket license if they're registered correctly and validly at PPL, PRS, and MCPS. So a lot of DIY artists do not get MCPS, and they don't know that they're disqualified. I don't know about the other broadcasters, but BBC has said to their staff, you can only use stuff under the blanket. I have a North American artist who's been living in the UK for the past 20 years, is still with BMI instead of PRS. And they have told us that her music cannot be used unless she changes from BMI to PRS, even though there's some sort of reciprocity between the societies.
That's very interesting because not all composers, not all performers are going to be in the UK, but each one of these societies have bilateral reciprocal agreements with each other. So you would assume that that would be the case. But
I did until I was told no. But it's good for us to learn. It's good for everybody else to learn, and especially good for DIY artists to do MCPS. It's really important.
For everybody that's listening, MCPS is the equivalent of the MLC here in the United States. So it's how mechanicals are licensed. It's for the reproduction of the music composition, but in the UK.
Or Harry Fox if it's not digital. Well, that's been an eye-opener. Thank you so much. I feel like I've learned a lot tonight. Thanks, guys. And thank you for listening. Remember, if you're not already a member of IFR, go to www.iafar.co.uk. See you next week. Bye.